N2 PQW, listening in Royal Oak. Sorry I'm not going to be able to meet you at party tomorrow night. Reply your email. I was going to do it a little later tonight when I settle down, but yeah, sorry to see you guys couldn't be there. I think we're going to tear the place down. No, it's going to be a sad farewell. Yeah, roger that. I'm sorry to see you go. Yeah, and Marcia's in recovery right now, so I'm headed up there to okay, well, wish her my best, and there's every chance that I'll be coming back into town for Dayton, or not into this town, but I'll come back for Dayton and try and connect with everybody. It's too far out for me to promise, but I hope everybody's feeling better by then.
Okay, Guy, I'm not going to hold it in here. 7-3, and we'll definitely hope to catch you later on down the log. N2PKW, TQW, and WBNSBI.
Hey, good to hear from you. I'm not sure what's going on with this machine, but I'm going to hang in for a few minutes and see if anybody pops up. N2PQW is mobile, Royal Oak, and listening. See ya. We're bringing up the net. WD8, I'm on X square.
This is Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima. Good evening, ladies. Apparently we were having a QSO on the G-Mark repeater, and we had a bounce back coming from the NF4GA repeater. So we have disconnected the NF4GA repeater, and it is 5 minutes after the hour, and a little past time for the YL OpNet. So those listening on any of the repeaters, this is carried on both the G-Mark and the NF4GA repeaters at 8 p.m. every Thursday evening, and that's Eastern Time. OMs are welcome to listen. YLs, please check in. In just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and pass this back over to Catherine A. C4YL, who was doing the disconnect, I believe. Again, my name is Melanie AG4YL. We do meet every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Echolink ALARA Conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We ask that only YLs or licensed young lady ham radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other improve our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. For more ham fun between weekly nets, check out the new YL OpNet Facebook group. During the net, be sure to join us in the NFARL Do-Drop-In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.doodropin.org. Just put your name, call sign in the box, and then click log in. YLs who would like to check in, give us your call sign, name, and current location. And don't forget that there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. Also, because we do have some repeaters connected to us and other links, please make sure that you do not time out these repeaters. So keep your transmissions on the short side. Make sure you don't time out the repeater. Use your Echolink timer, and make sure that we just keep everybody listening and able to hear us. This is AG4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
AE7MB, Margaret, Battleground, Washington.
G6IMY, Rachel, United Kingdom.
No. CE3, Mike India Oscar, Maureen in Wyerton, Ontario.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform, Carroll, Hamilton, Ontario.
Whiskey Alpha 7 Alpha Lima, Alita, Utah.
QC, Michelle, Oklahoma.
KA1YL, Connie in Bridgewater, Massachusetts.
Kilo Alpha 1 United Lima November, Nice, Massachusetts, home of Tom Brady.
Okay, let's go ahead and acknowledge those check-ins we've gotten so far. There's a lot of ladies joining us as we speak, and a few out there that haven't checked in yet. But we'll go ahead and do the ones that we have so far. KC9ZHV, Lauren, Illinois. AE7MB, Margaret, Washington. G6AMY, Rachel, all the way from England. Good evening to you. Good morning to you. Excuse me. I guess it's early in the morning for you there. VE3MIO, Maureen from Ontario. Good evening to you. And VA3WHU, Carol, also from Ontario. WA7AL, Alita from Utah. W3MQC. Yeah, I totally jacked your call up. Sorry. W5MQC. Michelle, good evening to you. KA1YL Connie and KA1ULN Nisi, both from Massachusetts. Let's continue with the check-in. All while that would like to check in, please call now.
KC1EEO, Brenda, Connecticut.
WA4YL, Dawn in Hudson, Florida.
AC4YL, Catherine in Georgia, and relaying in Nani2E0TLD, who still doesn't have a mic, but is in here with us as well. So back to net control.
Okay, thank you. Catherine, what was the call again? Who are you relaying in?
Well, I'm going to apologize if I mispronounce her name. I've got Noni or Nani, N-O-N-I-E, 2 Echo 0 Tango Lima Delta from the UK. She's still having mic issues. So just relaying her in.
Ah, yes, very good. Okay, thank you so much for that. I heard that but didn't hear it. You know what I mean? All right, so KC1EEO, Brenda, Connecticut. WA4YL, Dawn from Florida. AC4YL, Catherine from Georgia. And 2E0TLD. Noni, good to have you on again this week, all the way from England as well. So we've got a couple ladies from England, a couple from Canada, and we'll see what else the evening brings for us as well. I also see that Patricia of E4PEH has joined us. Good evening to you. I do have you in the log, and Jenny M0HZT. I do see her on as well. So we'll get both of those ladies in the log as we speak. I'm going to go ahead and now that I hear Catherine is back with us, and I'm going to pass this back over to Catherine AC4YL, your regular net control, and back to my mic not working. W1AYL. Okay, no problem. That's okay. I got you in there, and I see she's added Laura at KG5UGI. Okay, we're just going to keep on adding these in there. But I'm going to pass this over to Catherine, AAC4YL. This is AG4YL. And back to the actual, real net control this evening and the ladies on the net.
Okay, thanks, Melanie. Appreciate you jumping in there, and apologize, ladies, for the issues. I'm going to have to get with Lauren at some point and get her to point out to me more visually what setting needs to be adjusted, and then I can then in turn get in touch with the OM who manages the repeater here for NF4GA and see if he can make the necessary adjustments. And then I'm not sure if GMARC needs to make the same adjustment or if just one does, but it probably wouldn't hurt for all of them to make the adjustment. So anyway, thanks for everybody for your patience, and I understand that a lot of you are having some mic issues, but you know, you can still share in the net as well as listen. So if you have a comment or a question or anything during the net, please feel free to put in your comment or question in the Echolink chat. I'll probably see that before I see the drop-in chat, because it's hard to follow two chats and run the net and listen as you guys transmit and try to follow along. So I want to make sure I try to catch all this. The fun and challenging role of net control. And I want to take just a moment to invite any of you ladies that have an interest in experiencing what it is like to run a net. Please feel free to let myself or Melanie know, and we'll be more than happy to give you that opportunity, even if you just want to do it for a portion of the net. We are more than happy to give you that opportunity to experience that. We also have Patricia, VE4PEH, with us from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So welcome, Patricia. And I think Melanie got everybody else that I too saw pop in. So great group this evening. I do see a KN4FTZ Rachel over in the Do Drop In chat, so perhaps she's listening with us somehow, hopefully not through the NARFL repeater that we had to disconnect. Let me pause for a reset. Welcome, Patricia.
Star, Alpha, Lima, Alpha, Romeo, Alpha, Star, connected to node 47185. Connected to node 47185.
Okay, very good. So let's just take just a moment. I know Melanie mentioned in the outset the importance of setting your Echolink timeout timer setting in Echolink. So if you are using Echolink on a computer, not a phone or a mobile device, but on a computer or a laptop, if you take a look and you go up at the top and you click on Tools, and you go down to Setup, there are several tabs that you'll see under System Setup. There's My Station, Servers, Proxy, Timing, Audio, and Performance. The one you want to focus in on is the Timing tab. So click on the Timing tab and you'll see there are several settings that you can change. You can put in and change any of those as you like, but the one we're going to hone in on is the transmit time limit. Transmit time limit. Make sure that that is set to 150 seconds or less, but no more than 150 seconds. And that will help make sure that you do not time out the repeater. Another thing to keep in mind is which we'll try to watch for, especially if your net control is to leave a gap in between transmissions of about 4 to 5 seconds, because if somebody keys up too quickly and then transmits for that full time, it may include the time because not enough of a gap was left between transmissions. So just, we're not in a rush. So this is all about having fun. We've got a good hour and a half of YL fun here on the net. So again, if you will please check your transmit timeout or time limit settings and make sure you set it to 150 seconds or less. Now I'm going to open it up. Does anybody have any questions or need help making this change, or you can't find the menu on your computer? Okay, I'm not hearing anyone. Some of you that have mic issues, if you want to, if you have an issue finding that setting, please type it in the Echolink chat, and either Melanie or myself will try and catch that and make that adjustment for you. Want to give a special thank you to the YLs over in the UK that are with us. We know it is rather early in the morning for you all. Y'all are getting a jump start on Friday on us on the East Coast, and or you're close to midnight your time, depending on where you're located. So I want to take a special moment and say thank you for taking the time out of your evening / early morning to join us. We really appreciate it and hope that you will find this net valuable and enjoy it. And I know Jenny is happy to have some fellow UKs joining her over here on the net with us. So thank you so much for that. Let me pause for a reset.
Star Alpha Lima Alpha Romeo Alpha Star connected to node 47185.
Okay, well, I guess that's one way to make sure we leave a gap in our transmission. Okay, looks like GMark announces a good thing and perhaps help us in leaving gaps. I'm not sure. Hopefully it won't be an issue. Okay, very good. So what we'll do this evening, glad to have all of you with us. We have such a great group. Is I thought first off we'd play a little catch up and find out how everyone is doing and what ham radio activities you have been able to participate in over the last week. I know we had the North America Acoustic Party single sideband this past weekend, and several of us on the net here participated in that. We'd love to hear if you did, or any other ham radio activities that you have participated in and had fun over the last week, whether it was attending a ham fest, working special event stations, any contesting you participated in. Maybe you went out and activated a park or operated from a park, or perhaps you did a Summits on the Air, or any ham radio activity that you've done that you'd like to tell us about over the last week. Please call now.
Connected to node 47185.
Okay. AC4YL here. I don't know. I don't see the Gmark repeater all of a sudden in the list here. I don't know if it dropped below. But if anyone is monitoring the Gmark repeater right now and it is connected and you can hear me, someone had a locked mic. So anyway, very good. Whew, going to make it an interesting evening, right? In the meantime, we've had a couple of folks join us, so let's give a warm welcome to Linda, KC8PKY from Indiana, and Yukiko, 7K4TKB from Tokyo, Japan. So welcome to the net, and let's open it back up to the group and see if anyone would like to tell us about any ham radio activities you participated in the last week. AC4YL here.
VE3 Mike India Oscar, Maureen in Wyerton, Ontario. Across from Michigan, we're on a peninsula that comes up from southern Ontario, and the town is Wyerton. Our next big town down from us, down south, is 26 kilometers. That's Owen Sound. But anyhow, this past week, every Sunday at 4 o'clock on 3.755 megahertz, I do run a net in between 4 and 5 every Sunday. It's the ONTARS group, the Ontario Amateur Radio Group. Everybody is designated an hour, and I've picked the 4 o'clock hour. I've done it now for I don't know how many years. But anyhow, we won't get into that. And last night, actually, yesterday was Thursday. I don't know what day it is anymore. But anyhow, Wednesday night at 7:30, I take a 2-meter net. It's VE3 Oscar Sierra Radio, OSR. That's Owen Sound Radio. I do belong to the Owen Sound Club and also to the Manitoulan Club. Manitoulan Island is my home club. I moved here about 8 years ago, so that's what I've been doing this past weekend, or week. And we'll turn it back to you, Catherine. Alpha Charlie 4, Yankee Lima. Back to you.
Okay, awesome, Maureen. If you are on a computer or you're able to put in the chat the information about those nets, we'd love to see that. And perhaps some of us on the net here can join in from time to time and catch up with you and say hello on Sunday. So awesome. Thanks so much. It's great to hear you, and sounds like you are. Keep being busy. It's wonderful. All right, very good. Who else has been busy in ham radio activities over the last week that you'd like to tell us about?
Star Alpha Lima Alpha Romeo Alpha Star connected to node 47185. Connected to node 47185.
Okay, this is Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right on in here, and that's not irritating. Just to give you all a little information, those of you that aren't in on the chat or not watching the chats, the General Motors Amateur Radio Club has been linking to our nets for several months now, every week, and there's usually not a problem. They know how to turn off their tones and tails. You don't get a lot of feedback from them at all. I noticed that they were not on last week. They had not connected, and this week is the first time that I've heard the problems that we've encountered from the Gmark repeater. It's normally very quiet and just sits there, and they link in because they have a contingent of people there in Detroit that like to listen to this net. So for the folks up there at Gmark, I hope there is someone monitoring it and understands the trouble we've been having here. We don't have any control over it, and we cannot disconnect it. So I see Katie, WY7YL, has joined us. I'll go ahead and get you in the log, Katie. But some of the things that happened this past weekend, I didn't see Rhea on here, and Rhea had kind of was putting together a little team for the North American QSO Party, the winter edition, which was this past weekend, the 20th and 21st. And the single sideband version of it, that is, and that was I love it. It's usually I usually have a really good time with it, but I have to say that first of all I had to work, so 20 was not an option for me, and 40 here at my QTH is extremely noisy. I was dealing with S4 to S6 a noise floor on 40. Trying to play this, and so I would go back every hour or so. I'd go back and spin the dial, and I'd go back another hour and spin the dial. Let me pause for reset. Hopefully I can come back. Okay, that sounded good. I think we're good now. And I know, Katie, you just joined us. We've been having a little bit of trouble with the GMark repeater linked into us this evening. The gremlins are out. If it was ham radio, if it were easy, everyone would do it. But so I just kept coming back every hour or so just to listen to 40. I'd go and do something else, and I'd come back. I'd go do something else. And so the last 30 minutes of the contest, I was actually able to go up and down the aisle and pick up some new people. So I worked, I think, a total of 26 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that. And obviously I didn't do that well because I was fighting the noise floor. I made a whole 6 QSOs in 26 minutes. So it's a little sad for me because I love the contest, but that's what I did this past weekend, and for what it's worth, any time on the radio is better than no time on the radio as far as I'm concerned. So that's what I have to say. I'll send this back over to Catherine, AC4YL, and the net. This is AG4YL.
W8MJC.
AC4YL here. Good evening. W8MGC, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We're working on the GMark repeater. We installed a new All-Star node, which has an Echo-Link module. We got 3 people working on it now, so bear with us. We're trying to shake the bugs loose. Thank you, ladies. W8MJC.
Well, that is no problem at all. We certainly appreciate you guys linking in your repeater. I know there's several YLs there that like to check in, and we're so glad that you all are able to link in and give them an opportunity to have fun and join us, and we're so glad to have all of you just listening and participating here with us. So thanks so much, and it's sounding great. Looks like you guys are working through the kinks, so we really appreciate it, and thank you for all your hard work. We know it's not easy to manage a repeater site. That's not always a piece of cake. In fact, sometimes you have more issues than not. So thanks so much, and thanks for letting us know. We appreciate it, and glad we're able to help you do just that. Okay, thanks, Melanie, for your comments as well. So working the NAQP this past weekend, that's awesome. And yeah, as Melanie mentioned, Rio was putting together a YL OpNet team for that, and I think it was Jenny and Melanie and myself, and I'm trying to think, and Rhea. I'm trying to think of who else. I think there was one more person, and you all will have to forgive me because, oh, duh, Nisi, of course. Oh, my goodness. Nisi, thank you. I apologize. Duh, I knew that. Okay, very good. Well, we had a lot of fun. It was fun to see some of the comments, and I got to spend a little bit more time playing than Melanie, but band conditions were not all that favorable, I can tell you that. But still had a lot of fun, and the highlight for me was working a YL in North Dakota, I believe, and I can't remember her call off the top of my head, but it took me a few tries to get through and work her, and it was so great to get through. She's fantastic. When I find her call, I'll pull it up in my log and I'll post it in the YL.net. Her QRZ page is a fun read, and she's been a long-time ham and is really getting back in and active with it, back to the advanced license days. So let me pause for a reset. Okay, now we have a couple of repeaters going back and forth. So, Lauren, if you're around, is there a quick rundown you can tell us what setting while hopefully the manager for K4EX is on? Is it something quick and easy they can make that quick change in Echolink, or is it more in depth than that? KC9ZHV AC4YL. Okay, I think Gmark is using an all-star, but I think K4EX may be on RF. I'm not sure. So perhaps we'll get that information from you, Lauren, and share that. I think Chris AA4CB manages the K4EX repeater, but I could be wrong. Dawn probably knows better than I do because it's down her way. So perhaps we can get that information and see if we can't get these guys to adjust their settings so we can have all these guys connected. We want all the repeaters connected in, but not if we are spending our time waiting for them to play Pong, so to speak. Okay, so we're talking about NAQP this weekend, and I got to work a YL, and I believe her name was Mary in North Dakota, and had a lot of fun working her, and it took me a while to get in. She's a long-time ham and enjoys playing radio, and you can tell when you pull her QRZ page and see the number of lookups. Very active and loves to play radio. So that was the highlight for me on playing in AQP, and got to work various stations, so that was a lot of fun. Also, for me with the past week, Melanie and I and Lori, K4UPI, who you all have heard, or most of you have heard on this net before, and she may or may not be listening in tonight. But we were able to give a presentation to our local club, North Fulton Amateur Radio League, this on past Tuesday, and we were able to give a presentation on YLs and amateur radio, and everyone seemed to enjoy the presentation, and we had a lot of fun. It was a blast to do that, and we're looking forward to doing a forum, Melanie and myself, doing a forum down in Orlando, Hamcation, in February, in about 3 weeks. So if any of you YLs out there will be down in the Orlando area in about 3 weeks, we'd love to have you join us and come meet us at the forum. Let me pause for a reset. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and open it back up to the group. Who else has been participating in some ham radio activities over the last week that would like to tell us about them? Well, I did see Brenda key up, but Brenda, I didn't hear any audio. But we'll go ahead and pass it to you and give you a chance to share what you had to tell the group. KC1EEO, AC4YL with the net.
This is KC1EEO, and I'm on the laptop for the first time. I was on the phone all the other times, and I'm just having trouble figuring out the way that this transmitter works. It's kind of a delay, and I'm never sure if I'm really on. So I guess I'm on. And during the past week, I've done a lot of things. I'm always doing things with ham radio. I agreed to be the net control once a month for the local repeater group, the Spark group. It's at 442-500 in Woodbridge, Connecticut, and they needed extra net controls, and so I offered to do that. So that's my new thing. I'm always studying for my extra. We're always studying antennas that we're eventually going to put up in the roof, and we're involved actively with a lot of radio groups in the area, and I'm always studying and learning, and every day is a new ham adventure. So, but the main new thing was the offering to be the net control. So back to net control.
All right. Well, awesome, Brenda. That's great. It's wonderful to be able to volunteer to do that, and it's fun to tackle that challenge. And sometimes being a net control can be somewhat challenging, but nevertheless rewarding and fun. So great job, Brenda. Congratulations, and you'll have to let us know how that goes for you. Let's take a moment. I know Yukiko isn't able to join us every week, and she may have a busy schedule given the time difference between here and Tokyo, Japan. So Yukiko, if you're around and you would like to jump in here and say hello and just tell us how you've been and what's new for you, I'd like to give you a chance to do that in case you have to go do other things before the net's over. So 7K4TKB, AC4YL with the group.
Hi everyone, this is 7K4TKB in Yukiko in Tokyo, Japan. Well, it's Friday morning here. It's 10 a.m., so it's about time to get busy. Actually, the last week I was busy. I was trying to jump in and say I was busy operating the special station of my YL club in Japan Ladies Radio Society. We're celebrating the 6th anniversary last year, and our special station will be operated until the end of March this year. And last week is my turn to operate, and I was trying to catch the DX stations, but the band conditions were not good, especially on the 20 and 50 meter band. So I focused mostly on the 40 meter band for domestic USOs. It was tough work for me because of the band condition was not so great, but I enjoy that. And I think in March our CW expert will be operating on CW. So I think the wild stations in the other part of the world will be able to call our station. So the call sign is 8 November 60, Juliet Lima Romeo Sierra, JARS, the initials of our wild club in Japan. So please, I'll keep you posted. Okay, so that's all I had to do last week. Okay, back to the next control. This is 7K for TKB from Tokyo, Japan. Over.
Okay, awesome, Yukiko. So for everybody that may have been trying to jot it down but couldn't get to it fast enough, the call for the 60th anniversary of JLRS, Japan Ladies Radio Society, is 8 November 60, J Juliet, L Lima, R Romeo, S Sierra, 8N60 JLRS. Can pull them up on QRZ and take a look at their QRZ page and get QSL information and check that out. So very good, Yukiko. Awesome. So will you all be, do you guys spot yourself when you're operating so that folks know when you are on the air?
I don't know about that. I don't think many Japanese stations sell spot on the cluster, so I don't know. But somebody may do that. Okay, back to net control. Over.
Okay, very good, Yukiko. So, ladies, if you hear 8N60 JLRS, please spot them on any of the major spotting networks and clusters such as DX Watch, DX Heat, DX Summit, any of those that you gals may use, and some of your logging programs may allow you to spot from in those as well. So please spot them, and so we can try to work them. And Yukiko will definitely look for that call on the air. And thanks so much. It's great to hear you, and so glad you were able to join us this morning. And you know, hopefully you can stick around for a bit. And if not, have a wonderful rest of your Friday. And we look forward to catching up with you again soon. So take care, Yukiko. Thank you. Okay, who else would like to tell us what you've been up to in ham radio over the last week?
WA4YL, Dawn.
Please go ahead, Dawn.
I just learned how to use FT8, and I do it all automatically now, and it's just amazing. You sit there, you click on who you want to talk to, and it'll do everything for you. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, very good, Dawn. Awesome. Yeah, lots of activity going on with FT8 these days, and so, you know, with band conditions not all that great, you can certainly work some stations using the digital mode FT8. So, thanks, Dawn. It's actually very simple to operate FT8 if you have a radio that doesn't require an external device to allow you to operate digital, such as a Signal Link or a Rig Blaster. So it's such as if you have an FT 991 like Dawn does, or a Kenwood. Those you do not have to have an external device to operate and play digital. So encourage you to check out FT8. It's a fun mode. It's quick. The QSOs are very short with just basic information exchanged, and it's a lot of fun. And several of the YLs here on the net have been participating and operating FT8 and can probably help you with questions that you may have. I know Nisi, K1ULN's played FT8, and now Dawn's playing FT8. Melanie's played with some FT8, and several other gals here with us have no doubt been operating using FT8. So very cool. All right, thanks, Dawn. Who else has something to tell us what you've been up to in ham radio over the last week? Okay, not hearing anyone else, so very good. So we're staying busy, and perhaps some of you with some mic issues are staying busy in ham radio as well. And it looks like Maureen has an ICOM IC7300 for digital. That's cool, very good. And we have Kay who's joined us, KE0CPI, so welcome, Kay. We're glad you made it to the net this evening and were able to join us. And it looks like, let's see, give me a second here, got too many things going on. Rachel has an FT450D she uses for data mode, so very cool, awesome. So glad that you gals are out there and playing digital. Again, with band conditions not all that great, digital gives you an opportunity to work more stations. There was actually an article on ARRL News, and I'm going to put the link in both chat rooms, when we were talking about FT8 and how really the use of digital modes has greatly increased, and how much FT8 has just really taken off since its inception. In fact, it's there are 8,000 club log users that have uploaded FT8 contacts last year in 2017. It's quite interesting. So to put that in perspective, in 2017, the total number of queues uploaded to club log in all modes was 32 million. And of that total, the number of QSOs made with FT8 was 4.8 million. So that's about 15% of all the contacts posted to club log were FT8. So wow, lots of folks playing FT8 now. So that's really, really quite cool. Check out the article. It's interesting to see. There's a graphical representation, a club log graphical representation of the modes and their use. So it's very, very cool. Let me pause for a reset. Okay, also as an update and reminder, of course this year with the beginning of 2018, a lot of us are chasing grids for ARRL Grid Chase, International Grid Chase, or IGC. We're reminded by the American Radio Relay League to make sure that each, well, really any of you that are using Logbook of the World around the world, make sure that your station location in TQSL includes your grid square. So you can open TQSL and click on station locations, and then look at the display station location properties. Make sure your grid square is in there so that other stations will get credit for International Grid Chase when they work you and you upload. They need to have that grid square there, so you need to have it in there so it can confirm. So good reminder for everybody to just check if you use Logbook of the World, LOTW, make sure your grid squares in your station location properties. Okay, very good. Up and coming this weekend, we're talking about ham radio activities, is Winter Field Day. Winter Field Day. It's a great event that happens every January, the last full weekend in January, and it's similar to the field day that occurs in June of every year. And it's 24 hours, just like it is on the summer field day. And the exchanges are the same, and so you can, there's actually a log that N3FJP has specifically for this event, and encourage you to download it and check it out. In the meantime, I'm going to post the link for Winter Field Day in both chats so that you can visit that page and learn more about what Winter Field Day is. But basically, it's about the importance of emergency communications, even in a winter or not a very pleasant, necessarily pleasant environment, cold weather and such. Let me pause for reset. So the goal of Winter Field Day and the team that promotes it is to help enhance your skills and ready you for all environmental conditions found in the U.S. and Canada during spring, summer, fall, and winter. But all amateur radio operators worldwide are encouraged to participate and have fun in this event. So let me see if I can, maybe Melanie can post the link. Oh, perfect. See, she's right there where my head is there. N3FJP.com. You can download the Winter Field Day log. You can put in up to 30 contacts before you need to register the program to add any more. But the nice thing, as with the other N3FJP logs, event logs, is it specifically has the information you need for the event. So similar to what we were looking at last week when we were looking at the N3FJP log example for NAQP, it will have your exchange information in the bottom right so that you'll have whatever information you put in down there, and then you can see all the sections, RAC and ARRL sections here in the U.S. Right there listed, and they will turn color as you work them. So you can see what sections you've worked, which ones you still need to work, and in the left-hand side toward the center is the information that you need to put in as the exchange information, and only that, so you don't have too much to try and figure out what the exchange is and what do I need to log. It's very simple and straightforward doing it that way. So it's a lot of fun, and encourage you to participate in Winter Field Day. And with that, I'd like to open it up to the group and see if anyone has participated in Winter Field Day in the past, and if you plan to do so this year, and what kind of setup are you planning to operate? Are you going to be operating outside or indoors, and are you going to be using a more portable rig, or what kind of power are you going to be using? Tell us about your experience with Winter Field Day.
W5MQC.
Please go ahead, Michelle.
Well, we are going to be outside on a generator power. We've got a trailer that we're going to pull up and put the radios and station ourselves in there. And we've got a mess tent that we're going to set up. We're going to have we're going to operate a GOTA station. We're going to have an HF station, a CW station. We may or may not have a 6-meter. It just depends on how it goes. We're doing it in the park right next to the library, which is where we're going to start teaching our next technician classes starting next Thursday. So I'll be missing this net for the next month. But we're hoping to get a lot of the people in the neighborhood and in the city coming in, get some experience, get out there with us, break bread, have some fun, and then the people that weren't licensed can come in and take the classes. Back to Net Control, this is W5MQC.
All right. Awesome, Michelle. Sounds like you guys are going to have a really nice setup and really make it just like summer field day. That's fantastic. So glad. So cool. We look forward to hearing how your winter field day goes when you can make it back here with us, and perhaps you can take some pictures and share it with us on the YLOPNet Facebook group. We'd love to see those. Okay, Maureen has to go do some other things, so we'll say take care. And 33, Maureen, great to have you, and we look forward to seeing you next week, so thank you. Okay, very cool. Okay, anybody else has a winter field day experience to share with the group, how you've operated it in the past, or if you plan on operating this winter field day? Okay, not hearing anyone, so what I'm going to do now is if you gals are in the Do Drop In chat room, and again you can get to it by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org and just put your name -- call sign in the box and click log in. I just posted a photo, a screenshot of the N3FJP Winter Field Day log, so you can see what it looks like and what the layout looks like. Really, really easy. And there are a few categories that you can participate in. Basically 3: indoor, outdoor, and home. And the description of those is under the winterfieldday.com/rules page. You can go there and it will specify, how to determine whether you're operating indoor, outdoor, or home. It gives everybody an opportunity to participate. And so the exchange is very simple. It's your call sign and your category that you are operating in, and your ARRL section. So very simple. So for example, I'm located in Georgia, so my ARRL section is Georgia, but there are several states that are broken up into different sections, and you can see them there. If you look under the one call in the photo, you can see you've got EMA. Well, what's EMA? Well, that's Eastern Mass or Eastern Massachusetts, and WMA, of course, is Western Massachusetts. If you look under the 2-call area, you've got East New York and North New York. New York, Long Island is in LI. New Jersey's also broken up into Northern New Jersey and Southern New Jersey. But you can also see the Canadian sections as well that are part of the exchange. And like you've got Ontario East, Ontario North, and Ontario South Let me pause for reset. So it's very simple, again, to see what sections are, and you'll notice the coloring of those sections. You've got the red and the blue, so you can see which ones that you've worked. So Melanie and I played Winter Field Day last year, and this is a sample of our log. And of course, for us operating, we could only use one call. And so last year we used my call, and so this year we'll be using Melanie's call. But you can see which sections that we've worked. MAR is maritime, and you can see it's in blue. That's one of the sections that we work, so it's in blue. The red ones are ones we haven't worked yet or didn't work in this particular contest. So it's real easy at a glance to see which sections you have and which ones you've missed, and so you can try and tackle those. But again, the point, as it is in all events, is to have fun, have a good time playing radio, and go at the pace that you're most comfortable with. And no doubt you will go away from any event learning something new or experiencing something new in amateur radio, and that's part of all the fun. Anybody else have a Winter Field Day experience from the past or that you plan to operate this year? Okay, not hearing anyone. If any of you ladies that are having mic issues have questions about Winter Field Day or comments that you'd like to share with the group, please feel free to type them in the chat, and either myself or Melanie will catch it and answer it, either on the air or through the chat. So we definitely want to help you and encourage you to participate in Winter Field Day. It is a lot of fun. And if nothing else, tune around to the bands if you have a few minutes and listen out, because it's during these special events you might actually hear somebody out there, right, when band conditions are poor. As a side note, I know we talked about FT8. Please keep in mind that FT8 is not a valid mode for Winter Field Day. So just keep that in mind. There will not be FT8 for Winter Field Day. Still doesn't mean you can't have fun and get out there and have a good time. Melanie comments in the chat that Winter Field Day, they have a Facebook page. So you can also hop over there and check that out and have fun doing that. All right. Anybody else with comments or questions on Winter Field Day? Okay, not hearing anyone, so Melanie is kind enough to put the link to the Winter Field Day Facebook group in the Echolink chat, so you can pull that up, and again, we'll try to pull all the links together and get them posted on the WildOpNet Facebook group for you as well, so you can catch up there. Okay, let's open it back up to the group now and see if anyone has any questions or announcements or anything that you want to share or ask the group of this evening, ham radio related. It's all fair game, so any questions that you have on amateur radio that we can help you out with, let's give you an opportunity to ask, or if you have an announcement that you'd like to share, or a reminder, perhaps a net that you want to remind folks of that you'd like to invite them to attend, please call now, AC4YL. I heard a lot of crickets, but that's about it. So Jenny asked, turn your antennas toward the UK and try to work them. So very good, Jenny. We'll keep that in mind. Of course, I don't know how well we'll be able to work the UK on the hamstick dipole that we're using currently, but we'll definitely give a listen out for UK stations and try to work you guys across the pond as well. So thanks, Jenny, for that reminder. Carol says the Lockport Amateur Radio Club Hamfest is this Saturday. Very cool. So that is awesome. Jenny says their field day, was that 2-meter field day? On the first full weekend in July, and HF Field Day is the first full weekend in September. So thanks, Jenny, for that information. So we'll know when you guys are on for your field day and try to work you then as well. So very good. Give me just a second here. Let me try and see if I can get that cool club log graph of those modes that we were talking about earlier, and it'll show an evolution of modes used during 2017 CW phone, FT8, RIDI, PSK, and other. So I'm going to see if I can get that and post that in the Dewdrop In chat as well so that you gals can see what we were talking about. So bear with me just a moment while I do that, and if you gals think of any questions or comments for the net, we'll give you an opportunity to do that as well. AC4YL.
W5MQC.
Okay, Michelle. I did get the club log screenshot graph posted over there in Dewdrop In, so feel free to check that out, ladies. The green is the FT8, and you can see how it went from nothing to wow, a lot of use, and you can see some of the other modes in their progression over 2017 as well. So Michelle, we'll go ahead and pass it over to you now. W5MQC, AC4YL with the group.
Well, I'm not a resident expert, but I've been dabbling in DMR a little. And there is a YL net on the YL channel on Saturdays at, it's 9 o'clock my time, which is Central Time. And I don't know, depending on where you're at, I don't know what that translates to UTC time. I'm not very good at doing that. I used to have to use an app to do it. But a lady from Israel, Dorva, is net control for that. And I know Candy, I don't know what her call sign is, and another lady from Canada all check in. So if you have DMR capabilities, that might be a nice, great net to start joining or to get your feet wet. That was all I had, W5MQC.
Okay, very good, Michelle. So if any of you are playing with DMR and want more information on the net, feel free to send a message over to Michelle, W5MQC, for that information, and you can post your question in the WildOpNet Facebook group as well. So thanks, Michelle, for that information, and very good, cool. Another opportunity to get with some YLs and play a little bit of radio in some form or fashion. So very cool. Okay, anybody else with comments, announcements, or ham radio related questions?
G6AM boy.
Please go ahead, Rachel.
Hey, Catherine and everybody. Well, it's just little things really. I've done a little bit of net control work over here, and with a couple of radio clubs that I belong to. One's on a Thursday night, believe it or not, at 7:30 in the evening, only for about an hour. I only do that one when the chairman can't make it, if he's got a scout meeting or something like that. And also on a Monday evening, we have a net, big one, which lasts from about 8 p.m. our time. It goes on to about 10 p.m. That goes on to about 10 p.m. and it's normally about 18 on. First time I did it, I was very nervous indeed, but now it's old hat. I've got used to it, and I love it.
All right. Well, that's awesome, Rachel, and I can certainly relate to the nerves end of running a net and being net control. This net started 3 years ago, and it's funny because I did some recording just using Echolink for audio recording, and it's funny to go back and kind of see how this net has progressed from then. And like Rachel said, you know, you might be nervous for the first few, but you start getting used to it and it's more comfortable. And so, again, encourage you ladies, if you have not had the opportunity to operate as net control, it's another way to improve your operating knowledge and your skills as being a net control. We know that kind of assistance is very helpful in community assistant work, where you may be asked to take a lead in something, as well as in emergency communications. You may, have a time slot where you are responsible for passing traffic and running that, managing traffic in post-disaster, such as after a hurricane, for example, Hurricane Katrina, or any of the other ones. So, those are skills that you can certainly utilize, and so encourage you, if you have an interest and want to know what it's like to be net control, feel free to reach out to myself and or Melanie. And again, you don't have to take that role on for the entire net if you just want to practice taking the check-ins and going through the intro, and to kind of experience what that's like. Just let us know. It's a lot of fun, and again, as Rachel said, you might be nervous the first time, or maybe the first 10 times that you are net control, but you get used to it, and it becomes a lot of fun. So thank you very much, Rachel, for your comments and letting us know about those nets. And really nice photo you have there on QRZ, Rachel, of your aerial farm there on the balcony of the flat that you are in. And really cool. So ladies, check out Rachel's QRZ page. Just go to QRZ.com. Type in G6AMY in the search box and check out the picture. So that's great. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Rachel. We're glad you were able to be with us this morning. All right, anybody else with comments or questions for the group?
Yeah, just coming back in. So far this year, we're only into the 4th week of this year. I've run 4 nets so far this year, and because with the Monday night net that I'm on, which is Essex Hand, which is the biggest group in southern England, the chairman was very busy, so I sat in for him, and when he came, I said, "Where's Rachel?"
All right, very good, Rachel. Okay, awesome. Yeah, wow, that's you've been busy running some nets then. Yeah, we're already 4 weeks into 2018, so time is flying on by. So we're almost done with the first month. So hopefully everybody is working on your ham radio goals for the year and getting off to a good start. Lots of great events this month to kick off the year. We've had the VHF UHF contest, and we've got Winter Field Day coming up. We've had the North American QSO Party, and so lots of fun events to kick off the year, and some major ham fests that will start kicking off in February as well. So awesome. All right, anybody else have comments or questions for the group? Okay, just as a reminder, you can check out the YLOpNet Facebook group and the YLOpNet YouTube channel. Just go to qrz.com and type in AC4YL or AG4YL in the search box. Click search, and the link to both of those is on both Melanie and my own QRZ page. So check it out. If you are already not subscribed or not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, you can subscribe, and it will send you an email whenever a new video or recording is posted there. So encourage you to check that out if you haven't already done so. We have several previously recorded nets that you can listen in on, and check out and see the variety of topics that we've covered, including we did a two-part net on Echolink setup and configuration. So if you're new to using Echolink on a computer and you need some help with some settings, you're not sure what some of the settings would be good to configure your Echolink with, there's a two-part net you can go back and listen to, and Melanie does a great job of going through several of those, and we had some great participation from the YLs here on the net with some good tips and information on that. We've also done some great nets just this past month alone. We've had Andrea do a net on VHF, UHF operating. Rhea did one on digital operating. So you can listen in. I haven't gone back and seen if I'm not sure if those are posted or not. I know I tried to record some, but that adds a whole other mix to net control, let me tell you. Trying to record the net on top of it. But you can listen to previous nets, a lot of great information that is in them, and you can listen to them anytime and pick right back up where you left off. Let me pause for a reset. In doing preparations for the presentation that we did for the North Fulton Amateur Radio League this past Tuesday, I kind of went back over the Ham Nation episode 264, Ham's Gone YL, and I had a lot of fun revisiting a couple of those interviews specifically. And the first one was one where Valerie interviews Helen Archibald, VA1YL. And Helen has participated in various IOTA expeditions. There she and her OM, her son and daughter, and another group of OMs all would go to these various islands and operate, but they also did a de-expedition to CY9, which is St. Paul Island, and she does a brief interview, Val does, with Helen, and it's great. I encourage you to check that out. Any of you can find it. Just Google Ham's Gone YL. That's YLED. And you can listen to the whole episode. And if you go down to the comments, Carol, KP4MD, I believe is her call. She gives a breakdown of where the interviews take place, so you can kind of skip around and listen to the portions of that, the sections that you want to. But I highly encourage you gals to check out the interview with Helen, which is toward the beginning. I think it's about 5 minutes into the episode. But one of the cool points that Helen made, and it kind of goes along with what we talk about here on the net, and this net's here to encourage YLs to get active and stay active in amateur radio and improve our operating knowledge and our skills and to have fun. The interview with Helen was great because she shared a couple of experiences with us that they had on their adventures to St. Paul Island. Let me pause for a reset and I'll share one of the highlights. So one of the questions that Val asked Helen was if she had any advice for the YLs out listening or watching that episode that might have an interest in ever doing the expeditions or going and doing summits on the air or any of those types. But really, it could also apply to any big ham radio events, even at a field day, for example. But Val asked Helen if she had any advice for YLs that have an interest. What would it be? And Helen shared that when she went to CY9, it was her OM, her son, and her daughter, and several other OMs. And she said, "I will go, but one condition: I am not going to do the food. I am going as a ham radio operator, and I am not in charge of the food." And so she did. She made that very clear from that first one, an adventure to CY9, and her other expeditions. She made it very clear that she would love to go, but she's going as a ham radio operator, and she's going to help put the antennas up. She's going to pull the rope. She's going to help raise the antennas, and she's going to operate the radio. And so her encouragement was to YLs, be active, get active, express your interest that you want to play radio, and you're there to participate in the amateur radio activities. And of course, if you're able to help with the other elements involved in the event, of course, do that. But don't be afraid to make it clear that, while you don't mind perhaps helping that out, your main purpose is to play some radio. So don't be afraid to share that, and I think it was a great example for all of us and encouragement to us to don't be afraid to speak up and say, well, I'd love to help with that, but I'm here to play some radio. So give me some rope and tell me what I can do to help put that antenna up. And believe it or not, you get a lot of support from OMs that love to see the YLs join right in and get right beside them and help do that and make events happen. Let me pause for a reset. And another great portion that I enjoyed of that piece that Val did with Ham Nation and the group there, not just Val, but the entire group of YLs on that episode, was an interview with Katie. And Katie had some great things to share and encourage all of us when we go to HamFest and we talk to other YLs and we talk to OMs who may ask us, how do I get my wife interested in amateur radio, or my daughter, or my granddaughter, or whoever to get interested in ham radio? And Katie gives some great examples of how she would address that question and how we too can, and also shared her passion for amateur radio and the things she loves to do, and a little bit about her start and how she got started in amateur radio. So fun interview, and again, encourage you to check it out. Just Google Ham Nation, episode 264, Hams Gone YL'd, and we'll try to get the link in the YL OpNet group as well. All right, with that, do we have any YLs who have joined us on the net who have not had an opportunity to check in and would like to do so? Now's the time, and then we'll close out the net, AC4YL.
I'm going to try and talk. My voice is still a bit flaky, but anyone who wants to join us, early on the Thursday evening, 18:30 UTC. We're doing a ALARA net from over here, so pop in and join us. I don't know if you all heard. There's a group of international YLs went down to, where was it, love? Bob was down, the VP. Yeah, that's right, the Falklands. There was an English YL, Mike 3 YLO. There was Uni. I'm sure you some of you might have heard of Uni. And of course, Nikki and Tony, they also done them up in the Shetlands where they are now. Her mom died about about 3-4 years ago now, and she was resident down in southern England, and they went up the Shetlands full time, and they do have had the expeditions up there. We've been asked to go, but so far we haven't been. One day maybe we might just do that. But yeah, but say listen out for them. I know there has been a group of YLs on Greenland. Was it? I think there was two German ladies. Was it one lady from US? I can't remember now. But it was quite. I'm sure they had some good fun. Back to you, Kat.
Okay, very good, Jenny. And yeah, any of the nets that you gals have, please feel free to put them on the WildOpNet Facebook group so that the gals can see them, because it's hard to memorize them from here. So feel free to add reminders or pop in a note on the WildOpNet Facebook group on the time, frequency, and all that stuff, so that the Wilds can catch up and go back and review that. So thanks, Jenny, appreciate it. And yeah, you guys need to go and have some fun on a de-expedition and go operate on an island and have some fun and take photos. Take care, Jenny. All right, anybody else, any other YLs need to check in, and we'll close out the net. Okay, not hearing anyone. So again, please visit our WildOpNet Facebook group. We'd like to thank Lauren, KC9ZHV, for when she's able to live stream and record the net for doing so. And we'd like to thank ALARA for the use of this Echolink conference node, North Fulton Amateur Radio League for their drop-in chat room, and all who are linked and listening for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AC4YL, and I'm going to close out the WildOpNet and
Hey Catherine, if you're still there, 73's from the Azores. Always nice listening to you, alright? 73's.